Dear Kenyans, in the last 2 weeks, our country has experienced grave acts of lawlessness, widespread violence, looting, and invasion of private property by persons taking advantage of political demonstrations called by the opposition. During this period, lives have been lost, people injured, property looted or destroyed, the economy has suffered, and our image as a nation dented. Our security agencies have endeavored to do everything within the law to protect the lives and property of all citizens. Nevertheless, the violence, chaos, and disorder continues to distract our national focus of economic transformation. 3 Kenyans, among them a police officer, have lost their lives in the protest. More than 400 Kenyans, including at least 60 security officers, have been injured. A police vehicle was burnt to ashes somewhere in Kawangware, while another was hijacked and commandeered by unruly protesters somewhere in Migori. 2 houses of worship were burnt down in Kibra. Kiosks, supermarkets, and a mortuary were looted. Fellow Kenyans, our country's image and history in the League of Modern Nations has been at stake in the last 2 weeks. The country's economy has been hit hard at a time when my administration is doing everything possible to salvage the economy from the deep hole where we found it. My administration has instituted solid measures and policies to attract investors and, through their investment, create opportunities for millions of our young people to realize their potential, amongst many of the other issues that we are doing as government. We cannot, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot allow these efforts to be derailed by acts of violence, chaos, and anarchy. We all have an obligation to respect the Constitution of Kenya. This also includes the respect of institutions established and created by the Constitution. Our country's electoral system and process is anchored on the principles of our Constitution. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission conducted a free, fair, and transparent general election on the 9th of August 2022, a poll that was observed by different organizations, both local and international. The Commission declared the results for all 6 elections conducted, and any contestants who were aggrieved by the outcome had an opportunity to present their grievances to the country's judicial system for arbitration. The Supreme Court of Kenya had and determined with finality the 2022 presidential election dispute and ruled on the petitions that were filed by the aggrieved contestants and their supporters. Nevertheless, I have carefully listened to the issues raised by my friend, the Honorable Raila Odinga. In times like this, it is not about who is right or who is wrong. Like Winston Churchill said, I dare say, and I quote, "Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak, but it is also what it takes to sit down and listen." I have always been ready to engage Kenyans of all walks of life, including elected and appointed leaders from across the political divide and the religious fraternity, on how to make our country better and prosperous. And in the last 6 months, I have talked to many religious leaders. I have talked to many elected leaders from across the political divide. My door still remains open for honest, objective, and sincere deliberations based on the rule of law and the Constitution.